Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Star Wars Shadows of the Empire. So we're gonna play Escape from Echo Base. This is the second mission in the game, and the first third-person mission, or actually first-person mission depending on your viewpoint. You can change between the two, but ostensibly this is meant to be played as a third-person shooter. So story-wise, we can see that we need to activate the emergency generators to open the hangar doors for us to escape. But the story isn't really important. Even though this is a 3D action game, the progression is pretty much as linear as we can get, as we see the Millennium Falcon jockeying and preparing for a takeoff there. Pretty much this is straightforward, get to the finish and hit all the switches along the way. And although I normally am not a huge fan of that when it comes to modern third-person games, it doesn't work too poorly here. This is a 2D game in style, let's put it that way. Although it is a 3D game, it's still in that era of gameplay where things are very simple, and you know, it's a refreshing change of pace, let's put it that way. This, I will admit, taking my rose-colored glasses off, does suffer a little bit from something that a lot of N64 games suffered from, and that's actually just kind of awkward controls for a game of this type. There's only one analog stick, obviously, so aiming is pretty much accomplished entirely through auto-aim, so all of these enemies can be taken out pretty much just by mashing the fire button as fast as you can. Camera's a little bit wonky, and there's not a lot of ways to control it yourself in an acceptable way. There's a fixed camera that you can use that makes it like Resident Evil, but I don't find that this works too well. But you know, it holds up pretty well, I gotta say. So here, if we hit this switch, we can unleash all three of these Wampas, and we can pick up some Seekers, but I don't feel like that's really necessary. We can get Seekers when we come to the boss, but we won't use them at the boss anyway. This Wampa we will take out, because there's a challenge point in there that we could use. What am I getting hit by over here? Oh, there's a Hoth Stormtrooper over here. You can see, like, the game is pretty easy. You have a lot of health, and you can take a lot of damage. And this is kind of how N64 games were in this era, actually, in PlayStation games as well. In the modern era, these shooters are so advanced that you can easily take cover, but back then, that was not the case. You pretty much had to put yourself out in the open to shoot at other enemies. So they had to give you a wide berth when it came to your own health and livelihood. So we'll kill that Wampa, come in here and refill our health, and then, yeah, easy does it. Let's come back out here. Pretty much we're just going to keep tapping the fire button as fast as we can until we get to the end of this first half of the level. That path has literally nothing useful for us, except some more Seekers if we wanted to pick those up, but we'll just get those when we come to the boss, even though we won't be using them anyway, most likely. I should say most likely, because if I get into dire straits, I might have to use them to take out the boss. Before we get to the boss, I should mention that the sense of scale in these boss fights are actually pretty incredible. I remember being literally, well not literally, but scared shitless fighting some of these bosses, just because you're so small and they're so large. Like the first boss that we're going to face is an Imperial Walker, like the ones that we took down in the last level, but we're taking it down on foot. And that was something that, you know, kind of seemed unprecedented to my little 8-year-old brain and kind of overwhelmed me. There's a lot of bosses like this. I remember Boba Fett gave me pretty much nightmares, and the level where you have to get to Boba Fett actually is pretty remarkable. A remarkable accomplishment for a game this old, or I should say a game of this era. And the IG-88, I guess fans of the Extended Universe will be familiar with that, but everyone else will have to wait until a little bit later in the Let's Play to see him. He's a scary motherfucker. I had ants in my pants when I was in that fight. Ants in my pants? How old am I? Anyway, so we can just stand on this ledge over here and take out these enemies, basically with no risk to us whatsoever, but yeah, so be it. That's cool. There's other difficulties in the game. I could play the game on Jedi difficulty if I wanted to, but you know, I wanted to show the game off and get a chance to talk about it as much as I wanted to just beat it. So come down the elevator here, and we're done the first half of the stage, but I'm going to merge these two together just because they're both quite short. So we'll come out of the door here by hitting the switch, and we'll start the second half of this level, and pretty much more of the same, and I don't mean that in a bad way. But this also has the boss fight in it, which is pretty, like I said, it's pretty impressive for its day. It actually still stands up quite well. There are games that do boss fights on this scale now, you know, like Shadow of Colossus and God of War and stuff. Those were not around in 1996, to say the least. So these were these were technical achievements as much as they were artistic achievements. So pick up that challenge point, obviously. This is what I mean when I say that the jumps can be kind of finicky because the camera is not so hot. But as long as you take your time to line them up, you can usually do alright. Even though I actually almost caught my toes on the ledge there and took a tumble. What we're trying to do now is basically find the control room where we can turn on the generators, or turn on the generators so we can open the hangar doors. But again, as I mentioned, basically this is just run, shoot, hit switches, no problem. Not such a bad thing for a game of this era. Come in here. Let's put it this way, there are a lot worse 3D platformers that came out on the Nintendo 64. Just off the top of my head, Glover? What were they thinking? Anyway. And I know some of you people are going to comment and be like, hey man, why are you hating on Glover? You just don't understand. Yeah, I played it. It's not good. So obviously we'll hit these switches. I don't know why they bother having a handprint on these switches when it's quite clear that your fingerprints and DNA don't matter. Not to mention the stormtroopers were using them wearing gloves. So anyway, generators are working now. We can go get to the ship, but of course it's not going to be that simple, is it? Once we get down here, I always forget which way that door opens, and we run out of this side, we have a new path opened up to us. So let's take this and make our way through to the boss fight. And hopefully I'll try to avoid, making this into a pseudo-amnesia Let's Play where I am just crying like a little girl the whole time. Man, I hate these Imperial earthquakes, always coming around when I'm trying to get to the end of the level in Shadows of the Empire. Anyway, the only reason you might die there is because of the kind of wonky controls that you're subject to as you go through that earthquake section. Remember, N64 only one analog stick. That's how long ago it was. Although I guess Nintendo Wii 0 analog sticks. Alright, so here we are, fighting the Imperial Walker. This guy can be a real pain in the ass, particularly if you don't know how to beat him. So what we're going to try to do is, first off, get into first-person mode, which is important, and then never, under any circumstances, let yourself get in front of him, because he can take your health out super quick. What we want to do is get into his feet, if I can get... And then we're going to use the inverted controls. This is very difficult on the N64, I want to point out. And then we're going to just kind of try to hit him on his underside. And this way he can't hit us. Yeah, that's good. The controls, I'm reminded of a situation like playing GoldenEye where you had to use the laser watch to cut open those bars on the train level. Similar. The N64 was not built, it was not in the N64's DNA to do first-person shooting sections like this. And you almost have to do this section in first person if you want to employ this strategy of beating the walker by shooting it on its underside. You can see the lasers don't really do a lot of damage. I'm getting like 1% each time. I might have to do some speeding up in post-production. I'm sure someone out there can tell me what I'm doing wrong. But in any case, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Let's put it that way. I could go pick up the Seekers, and actually that would be perhaps a welcome thing to do. Oh, I got off a couple great shots there. If we can just get like really pretty much between his legs and get him to stop, then we can tear into him. All right, I think I've got the strategy for this time. As a kid, I remember literally spending like an hour on this boss fight and just hiding in the hangar door. And whenever he'd move away for a second, I would get a peek at him and maybe take off 2% damage. Spending literally like an hour or two on this boss fight alone, and crapping my pants the entire time. This is a much better way to do it, in my estimation. Even though it does take a long time. You could use the Seekers if you want to. I just don't consider it worth my time when I know I have a basically foolproof strategy here. I'm just staying in his legs. Thank God he's not walking on me. That would be a real problem. But luckily, I guess it seems kind of like an exploit where abusing the N64's limited processing power here in order to prove a point. But so be it. We're getting those shots in through that like one seam in the AT-ST where we can shoot the guy in the fucking thighs. He's like, Dash Rendar, come on, man, stop. Fight me like a man. Okay, so about a third of the way through the fight here. With Seekers, I think this probably would have been faster, but, Seekers have limited ammunition. Why not use the laser? It's kind of like, it's a matter of pride. It's like using the using the Mega Buster in the Mega Man game, and when you could have been using Metal Man's saw blades. Why not be a real man and do it the old-fashioned way? Do it the Red Foreman way. Just get in between him here. Take a couple of shots, 15%. He should go down in another couple of rounds here. I think I'm doing a terrible job of conveying the sense of fear that I had fighting this as a small child. But really, this thing did give me nightmares. One of the, actually, a couple of bosses in the game that gave me legitimate fear. Legitimate sleepless nights here. And we just took him down in a matter of minutes. If that's not a metaphor for my... I shouldn't say wasted youth, but if that's not a metaphor for my lost youth, I don't know what is. So now that he's dead, we'll take the time to climb up here, get this full health, and pick up some of these heat seekers, because we might need those at some point. And I just missed that jump, so whatever. Let's take our way out. I hope this is the right door. I assume it is, because I haven't seen these crates before. And let's go down this this path right here, if I can... Oh, Wampa time! So I don't know why there's so many Wampas on this level, but we'll take a note in any case. Let's use the Seekers. Or not. Let's not use the Seekers. Oh god, get out! Get out! the Wampas take an extraordinary amount of damage. I suppose they did almost kill Luke Skywalker in Empire Strikes Back. One of the nerdiest things I've ever said in my entire life, admittedly. I forget what's in this room. Oh, that challenge point. Alright, don't fuck up this jump. I should probably switch out of first person in order to make this. Change the camera angle. Okay, here we go. Let's make this jump. Obviously, I need to get this challenge point. Oh! Or I could just completely fucking die. What a waste. Whatever. We got 2 more lives because we had a pretty substantial run against that boss, or a pretty good run against that boss, I should say. So let's give it another. Oh shit. Okay. Now I'm. It's time for a gut check. Should I continue going for this if I miss this jump? I don't know. I don't know. Okay, this. I feel like I. Jesus. Yeah, okay. Now if I could just get back. That's the only problem. Oh! Alright, this whole thing is coming off the rails. Did I get the challenge point or did I not? If I have to go back and get it, I think I'm just gonna leave it and consider this a work in progress. Oh, thank God. Oh, whew. Hopefully there's not too many hard jumps to face in the rest of the level. That would be a damn shame. Oh, there's the Millennium Falcon right there anyway, so we'll just climb up inside that, basically. Maybe I just will take a look around here to see if there's any other challenge points that I'm missing, but I don't think there are. I think there's a couple on the next level there. I think I've pretty much FC'd this one right here. But again, I'll take a look around just in case. Make sure all these Hoth stormtroopers are taken out. What's going on in the cockpit here? I'm going for the cockpit robot sidekick, don't sweat it! Oh man. Well, that kind of became a clusterfuck at the end. I guess I got pretty lucky that I survived there. Challenge point bonus, 0 lives. I only got 4 challenge points? Oh, I'm never going to hear the end of this one. Alright, well, in any case, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you in part 3, the asteroid field. See you next time.